With an ever-growing grizzly population, if I didn't live here, I would use these things all the time. You just don't need more gun, especially if your ammo is right. You just don't need more gun, really, to stop or turn a black bear. Hi folks, Tim Sundles here, and I want to talk to you about, hang on. My beautiful wife, Kim, is filming.
He's getting too famous. He forgets about me now.
Yeah, well, you know, it's all the fans and everything. They distract me. So, this video, we did a series of videos on the 357 Magnum, but we didn't do a video on the ones I actually use all the time and why. And let me start this video with saying that where I live and where I hike and fish and ride horses and camp and all the stuff I do, we have grizzly bears. And so while I'm a huge fan of how useful the 357 is, I don't use them that much living here. You know, if I lived in the Midwest, or, you know, if I lived like in the far west, like in Washington or Oregon or Northern California, where we don't have grizzlies, I'd pack a 357 revolver in the woods everywhere I went. But as I've explained before, I really like big guns when it comes to grizzlies. Not that you can't kill a grizzly with the right ammo in a 357. Been done many times. Usually by some poor son of a bitch who's on his back and the bear's chewing his face off, and he just takes the gun and sticks it right there on the bear and pulls the trigger and takes its brain out. But let's talk about the guns. Before I moved here, the guns, the type of guns I carried all the time. I grew up as a kid shooting 357s and 38s. If I'm going to carry a woods gun, it's going to have a 3-inch or longer barrel. I really don't like anything longer than 6-inch barrels. Let me show you some of the really cool guns that have become available and are hyper useful as a belt gun, a holster gun in the woods. And I'll start with that series of guns first, that class of guns. This is a Ruger a GP100. I really like them. They've got adjustable sights. I like the 4-inch barrel. This one's the Match Champion, and they slabbed the barrel, which makes the gun noticeably lighter. This gun is hyper accurate. It's one of the guns that Ruger did mostly right, and I say mostly because the barrel cylinder gap is 10 thousandths. That's too much barrel cylinder gap. Because of that, this thing shoots 100 feet a second slower than it ought to, with super powerful ammo. And the ammo I would carry in a gun like this in the woods is this item right here. It's our biggest selling 357 Magnum item. It's killed many a critter. It punches right through both shoulders on a bear. It'll bust a big bear's skull coming and going. It is the outdoor load. Now, if there's a gun I like better than this for putting on a belt, holster, and just, hiking around, using in the woods, everyday carry, it's probably this one. This is the Smith & Wesson L-frame mountain gun. And what I like about it is 7 holes in the cylinder, not 6. Plus it's a nice balancing, nice feeling handgun. I mean, there's really nothing wrong with this. Of course, it's pre-Hillary hole. And I will say this, Ruger's smart enough not to do a Hillary hole or any other redundant safety which is unsafe. Kudos to Ruger for that. This, another 4-inch gun, is not a gun I carry in the woods. This is an old classic Python. I think this is a 60s or 70s vintage gun. This is for barbecues only. Just take it to barbecues and shoot the targets and the tin cans and stuff while everybody's drinking a beer and handling firearms while they consume alcohol.
No, that's not what he means. That was a joke.
Yeah, of course it was a joke.
We're just saying that for YouTube.
Yeah. And in that gun, the only load I'll shoot is this. I'll shoot any 38 special load in it, but this thing's hyper accurate. It's doing 1,000 feet a second, maybe 1,050 feet a second in a 4-inch barrel. It's doing 850 feet a second in a 2-inch barrel.
So what's that made out of?
Oh, that's some kind of bone. It's real bone. That's actually a factory Colt grip that they put on a few guns. It was like a limited edition series. And this gun may not have even started life with these stocks. I may have added these later. I think I probably did. So there's my 4-inch guns. And you can't take the social aspect out of handguns, which is why I put my barbecue gun up here. These are literally the guns I would and do use if I use a 357. So you got to have one barbecue gun. Now, we did a live video just the other night, Kim and I did, and I was wearing these glasses, and somebody pointed out that my glasses are bent. They hang on my face crooked. Well, that's because I sat on them a couple months ago, and I haven't gotten around to straightening them out yet. But they still work. I can still see through them.
He's not big on the clothing or the glasses, as you can see. I think I bought that shirt for him in Hawaii almost 10 years ago.
That's when we got engaged. You bought this for me when we went on our pre-marriage honeymoon, because I knew as soon as we were married, who the hell wants to go on a honeymoon? So we went on our engagement honeymoon. She bought me this in Hawaii.
Tim's not big on clothes or fashion, as
No,
you can tell. I was going to show your socks, but you don't have socks on.
I'm wearing flip-flops. It's summertime.
UFOs, they're the best.
Oh, they really are. Kim got me
so
turned
great.
on these too.
Well, our son, their D1 program, they actually sponsor them or something, and they're just awesome. So
At
anyway.
Illinois, they were sponsoring
UFOs.
UFOs.
I think it's OO.
Or UFOs was sponsoring
There you
them.
go. OO. You want a comfortable
Yeah, they're comfortable.
sandal, or what do you call the other thing? Slide. Those are the ones.
And they're so nice. And because I backpack and go into high mountain lakes where people never get, it's really handy to throw a pair of these in your backpack, and you can put them on while you're fishing. You can walk out in the water, or if you want to take a bath. Do not go in high mountain lakes barefooted, because there's always little sharp pieces of wood and sticks and stuff like that have fallen off pine trees. They're in the water. You'll puncture your foot. But you can put these on. You go out, in the water and take a bath. I always take a little thing of Dawn dishwashing detergent and bathe with it. Kills all the fish.
Okay, we digress. Back
yeah.
to the important stuff.
Here is one of my best surprises in a long, long time. I haven't had this gun very long, and if I do decide to carry it in the woods, I'll put different grips on it. I have really big hands, and when a grip curves forward like that, it just crowds my hand right into the trigger guard. You need grips something more like this that curve away from the trigger guard, not into it. 3-inch barrel, fixed sights, 6-shot, little itty bitty, looks like a D-frame, like the old detective specials. But with new metallurgy and manufacturing techniques, they can make these smaller guns with 6-shot cylinders and chamber them in 357. This thing, everything's right about it. As opposed to like the Colt Anaconda I bought a couple months ago, the sights won't adjust, the trigger return spring won't work. You never know what you're going to get these days when you buy a new Colt, a new Smith & Wesson, a new Ruger. You might get a perfect one like this, and you might just get a piece of unusable garbage like the Colt Anaconda I bought. This thing is lightweight, 6 rounds, little 3-inch barrel, and the fixed sights, which I normally don't like, and you can see what I did to them. I painted them. Yeah, you gotta, okay, hang on. You got high contrast sights on it. Look at that. Green background, orange front. And that way they don't blend into anything you might be aiming at because of their colors. They stand out. I can't say enough good about this gun. One of the problems, if you look at these sights, one of the problems with either fixed or adjustable sights on revolvers is they're either, in this case, a fixed sight, it's silver and it doesn't stand out well, and the front sight's black. So these are now green and orange to give a color contrast for very, very fast sight acquisition. And not only that, if I hold them against a background, out in the woods, those colors stand out. They don't blend into anything. And you want fast sight acquisition. There have been many, many people that have had a grizzly bear on top of them and stopped the attack with a 357. And with this load right here, this 180 grain outdoorsman load, that's what it's designed for. And that's the only load I've been shooting in this gun, and it shoots right to point of aim. I mean, I just got so damn lucky. I should have bought lottery tickets on that day, because that doesn't normally happen with fixed-sighted guns. That's the load I want in this gun. That's the load that shoots in this gun, and it's accurate to boot. And the barrel cylinder gap is a scant 5 to 6 thousandths of an inch. Perfecto. I mean, Colt did a good job on this one. Might be the only one, but they did a good job on it. That is a real carryable outdoor gun. I know Phil Shoemaker for years carried a little J-frame 5-shot Smith & Wesson, and he lives in the land of giant bears, and he carried it with non-expanding ammo like this. I think his was some kind of full metal jacket ammo.
And stay tuned. We're going to probably have Phil on one of our podcasts.
I'm going to invite Phil onto a podcast. I really like Phil, and I actually respect Phil, but not for all the reasons you'd think. I'll get into that in the podcast.
And he really likes Tim.
Yeah, well, Phil's just a good man. Okay. My last outdoor 357, except for the carbine, which we'll get into at the end. This is your typical 5-shot J-frame 3-inch barrel with adjustable sights. And it's a pre-Hillary hole. Ruger and Colt both were never dumb enough to put redundant, stupid safeties on their revolvers. Kudos to them. The only disadvantage this has to the Viper is the number of holes in the cylinder. For years, I have packed around one of these little 3-inch J-frames with adjustable sights, and I've made hits on, random things like coyotes or rock chucks way out yonder with them. I mean, I've hit coyotes past 100 yards with these little things because it was the gun I had on me. Coyote was standing out there looking at me like he owned the place. And highly, highly, highly usable outdoor gun. And if you wanted to get a blued one that wasn't so visible, be a great social carry gun too. As would this 6-shot Viper. And hang on. The Smith & Wesson weighs a little bit more because of the full underlug on the barrel. I mean, so you got the disadvantage of 5 shots, which for this kind of gun, I'm fine with 5 shots. You've got the advantage of the adjustable sights. With this one, it weighs less. I got 6 shots, and the adjustable sights actually regulate. That never happens. All right. Now we're going to get into purely social carry guns. I don't carry a revolver very often socially. I generally tend to use semi-autos. But you are not unarmed with a revolver, be it single or double action. You are a long ways away from being unarmed. This is an old Smith & Wesson Model 19 2.5-inch barrel. And if I'm going to wear a gun, a revolver, in a hip holster socially, with a jacket on to conceal it, this is what I'll carry. I have these in stainless as well, but if your jacket blows open, the silver metal tends to show. I like using these in blued steel. Nobody sees them if your jacket blows open. And I go with black holsters, not brown holsters, not tan holsters, not pink holsters, black holsters. So nothing really shows if your jacket happens to open up. In this gun, and what I've been shooting it with, is this tactical lower recoil 140 grain Barnes. What do they call their solid copper pistol bullet? It's a TAC XP, I think.
XPS?
Yeah, it's not a TSX. Those are rifles. It's a TAC XP usually.
XP8, maybe? I can't read it.
Yeah, and the wind is blowing like a mother.
So
we're going to wrap up real fast here. So this is the Model 340 PD Smith & Wesson. And if you'll notice, you can see the laser. Both of these have laser grips on them. And the reason I brought two out, the only time I carry these is in jacket pockets. Well, I brought two out because all my jackets have two pockets, at least. And you know what a New York reload is, right? You run one gun dry, you just go to a new gun. You don't bother to reload it. And these are nice because there's no exposed hammer, and you can put them in your coat pocket and shoot right through the pocket. So these have a real place in my actual everyday using arsenal. And they weigh 11 ounces. Now, I understand Smith & Wesson is about to make these without the Hillary hole. Both of these have Hillary holes. They're so useful, I bought them anyway. I bought a few Smith & Wessons during the Hillary hole era. And this is so much of a good thing that I can't let, the big wart on its nose keep me from buying it. So I bought them.
we deal with it.
Last but not least, if you're going to be a 357 shooter, please buy a little 357 carbine of some kind. This is a Marlin 1894. As you can see, I got this one long before Skinner sights existed. So this is a different brand of sight. I think it's one of the old XS sights, which there's no flies on that either. But I don't know what XS is up to these days. Once my friend Ashley Emerson, who designed all their early sights and owned part of the company, once he left the company, I quit paying attention to XS sights. And Andy Larson ended up buying Skinner sights, and the designs are really good, so I use Skinner. 16-inch barrel, handy. This is cut down in the buttstock for Kim, because Kim's arms are a lot shorter than mine. It fits Kim perfectly. And
Nope. Don't talk about that.
oh no, I'm not going to talk about it. I was going to say it shoots. The only load I bother to shoot out of this, and especially if I'm going to carry it in the woods, again, is this outdoorsman load. And as I recall, it's cranking this load out of this little 16-inch barrel at around 1,800 feet a second. I mean, there's no reason you couldn't hunt moose, elk, black bear as a hunting gun. Never mind a stopping gun for bear, especially if you're going to make brain shots. So folks, these are my usable 357s. I have about, probably at least 3 times or 4 times this many 357s. These are the ones I use or would use, and the applications that I would use them for. And did I not live on the Continental Divide in the Rockies with an ever-growing grizzly population? If I didn't live here, I would use these things all the time. You just don't need more gun, especially if your ammo is right. You just don't need more gun, really, to stop or turn a black bear. You only need them for grizzly. And, you can get in a twist with a mama moose or even a bull moose, but that is pretty rare, and usually you can avoid that if you have half a brain, which means some people don't avoid it. But you can usually avoid that much easier than you can a grizzly attack. Having said all that, this is the handful of 357s I would use, the ammo I would use them with, And folks, hope it's halfway instructional, halfway entertaining. God bless. We'll catch you on the next video. Here we are at the shooting range in the middle of our driveway, and we just finished talking about the 357s, and I just wanted to bang away with this little carbine. This is shooting our item 19A Outdoorsman. It's the 180 grain hard cast, and I just want to shoot it just because the wind is howling, so it'll be fun to keep the sights on target. Now, you'll notice the way I carry a lever gun is with a round chambered, magazine tube full, and it's on half cock. It's the way they were designed to be carried originally. It worked really well until we invented this thing called attorneys. So anyway, I'm gonna take my crooked glasses off. I'm far enough away from the steel. I don't really need safety glasses. We're 25 yards. So, and this thing is very, very short to fit Kim. So it doesn't fit me worth a darn, but whatever. So I just cock. So anyway, handy. You could use this for self-defense, for home protection, self-defense against animals as well as humans. Just a nice, handy little gun. Carry it around in a truck or in your Super Cub up in Alaska. Keep you fed, keep you alive. Really neat little carbines. Folks, hope you're having fun, and God bless.